Welcome to Storytime Recap. The film starts with a truck driving up to a toll gate, at which point it is being cleaned. A few men in hazard suits are cleaning the area. The truck driver is stopped at the toll gate and says that they are holding him up. The workers let him know that everything is okay and that they are simply tidying up the area since there was a little problem at the nuclear plant close by. As he passes the toll gate, his telephone starts to ring, and he hits a deer unintentionally. After investigating, he gets back into his truck and drives away. The doe, in spite of being run over by the truck, gets up after the accident and pivots to show that it is still alive but seemingly sick as well. Sok-woo is a hard-working asset manager in Seoul, and he barely possesses energy for his girl Soo-in, not to mention his divorce. In the wake of having a hard day at work and giving Soo-in similar birthday present he gave her last year coincidentally, Soo-in lets her father know that she needs to go to Busan to see her mom. Sok-woo is reluctant at first as a result of work. Yet his mom persuades him to go by showing him a video of Soo-in singing Salam Oe at a school presentation, which he was unable to go to due to work. She quits singing in the tune. Since he regrets what occurred, Sok-woo books tickets for the KTX bullet train to Busan. On the following morning, Sok-woo drives Soo-in to the station. On the way, he nearly hits a bunch of ambulances and police squad cars that are coming the alternate way. As Sok-woo attempts to sort out what's happening, Soo-in lowers the car window and catches a flake of ash. This makes Sok-woo notice a building ablaze somewhere far off. He says that something terrible is going on, however he continues to drive to the station. They get on the train, which is also occupied by a well-built man named Sang-wha, his pregnant wife Seong-kyung, a high school baseball team, a wealthy businessman Yeon-suk, two old sisters named In-gil and Jong-gil, and a homeless man who appears to be familiar with the zombies. As the train is preparing to leave, a young lady with a massive bite wound on her leg gets on. The station supervisor then advises the KTX train to leave, just to see a gathering of people screaming at something that they can't see from the highest point of the station steps. Soo-in is the only one who sees the supervisor get viciously attacked by a crazy individual, which she witnesses through the window. Soo-in gets up and goes to the restroom since she is terrified. A train hostess finds the wounded lady in one of the cheaper compartments. She attempts to resuscitate her, yet the lady has proactively changed into a beast. The zombie then attacks the hostess by the neck, terrifying her so much that she runs into the compartment of the baseball team. The two zombies then tumble to the ground. The two then assault the majority of the baseball team, turning them into zombies. Just 4 students get away: baseball player Young-gook, his crush Jin-hee, and 2 young men without any names. The zombies run towards the upper-class compartments and contaminate everybody in their way. Soo-in, who is searching for a washroom, strolls unknowingly towards the lower compartments. When Sok-woo awakens, he sees that Soo-in's seat is empty. Then, a colleague calls him and lets him know that fierce uproars have broken out around Korea. Before long, a gathering of frightened individuals from the lower compartments shout and run past his seat on their way up. When he arrives, he sees Soo-in standing directly in front of a group of zombies that are coming towards her. He snatches her, and the group pursues them. However, Sok-woo comes to a safe compartment and attempts to block it off, yet nearly locks Sang-wha and Seong-kyung out simultaneously. They are let into the compartment last minute. The survivors make a good attempt to impede the entryway. However, at that point they understand that the zombies don't have the slightest idea of how to open it, as they simply charge when they see individuals. Seong-kyung covers the windows with water and papers, which makes the zombies believe that they are not there. Over the radio, the guide lets the survivors know that the train will not go to Busan, but will rather stop at Daegu Station, where the military has been sent. Soo-in's father calls his colleague and gets some information about the circumstances in Daegu. Sok-woo learns that all travelers showing up in Daegu will be compelled to remain in a quarantined area. When the train gets to the abandoned Daegu station, Sok-woo takes Soo-in to the eastern exit, where they will be picked up, while the others go to the primary exit. Having heard Sok-woo's telephone call, the homeless man starts to follow him. The 3 individuals stroll down the foyer and see a soldier somewhere far off. Sok-woo is feeling significantly better and tells Soo-in to stay put. He then races to help the officer, however sees that he is infected. The soldier begs them to help him before a group of zombies comes around the corner and brutally attack him and eat him. The other individuals who made it out go out of the main exit. As they go down the escalators, the survivors see a huge group of soldiers and understand that they are all infected and that the plan has failed. As individuals run back up the elevator and into the station, some of them are eaten and become infected. Still inside the station, Sok-woo tells Soo-in to run since the zombies are coming. She does this and runs into Seong-kyung and Sang-hwa, who are hurrying back to the train with the others. Seong-kyung gets Soo-in and races to the platform while Sang-hwa, Sok-charm, Yong-guk, and the other two baseball players fend off the zombies. After they've locked the doors to the platform, they hurry to the train. At the point when Yong-guk's companions arrive at the platform, they are attacked and bitten as well. Jin-hee, Yeon-suk, and a couple of others are quickly boarding the train. Seong-kyung and Soo-in are also getting on the train when a massive window above them breaks, throwing zombies onto the platform. One of the zombies falls between In-gil and Jong-gil, separating them from one another. Jong-gil is dragged away despite her desire to go with her sister. She watches her sister as Shell, Seong-kyung, and Soo-in take off into the other direction. Seong-kyung, Soo-in, In-gil, and the homeless man lock themselves in a restroom in one of the primary compartments, while Yong-guk, Sok-woo, and Sang-hwa come to a protected compartment. Sang-hwa calls his better half and figures out that she and a couple of others are caught in the washroom. They would rather not let them bite the dust, so they begin battling their direction through the lower compartments to save them. All the while, they discover that zombies can't see them without light and possibly only move when they hear something. They utilize this for their potential benefit and figure out how to save them. This way they get through together towards their loved ones. Yong-guk sends Jin-hee a text message saying that they have saved individuals who are still alive and are making their way towards her compartment. The second, she tells the others in a hopeful manner. They lash out and choose to lock the way to their compartment so the group can't get in. Yong-guk attempts to open the door, which is locked, while Sok-woo and Sung-hwa battle to hold the zombies back from getting in. As they do this, Sung-hwa realizes that he has been bitten and tells Sok-woo to take care of his wife while he remains behind to keep the zombies occupied. Sok-woo doesn't want to leave his friend behind but lets go off the door, and pulls Soo-in and Seong-kyung towards the obstructed door. Before he gets eaten, Sung-hwa tells his wife the name he picked for their unborn child. The locked door is finally opened, and the survivors leap into the protected compartment. There is a second entryway inside the compartment that they close, yet In-gil is too slow due to her age and is eaten. When Sok-woo realizes that Sung-hwa and In-gil might have been able to live if the group had not locked the door, he punches Yeon-suk and asks him why he did what he did. Yeon-suk deceives the others and says that Sok-woo and his companions are infected in light of the fact that he might get named and shamed. By terrifying the others who hindered the entryway, they force Sok-woo, Jin-hee, and individuals who just got into the compartment to go into the foyer between their compartment and the conductor's compartment. When they are locked away, Yeon-suk and the others tie the handle shut with their bow ties and shirts so they can't get back in. Jong-gil is still shocked and traumatized from seeing her sister getting attacked unnecessarily. She finds In-gil's face in the horde of zombies in the entryway window. She lets her contaminated sister know that she carried on with a long and cheerful life, and she understands that her sister kicked the bucket as a result of what the compartment bunch did. Jong-gil opens the entryway. This allows the zombies to flood the protected compartment. The few who are still alive in the passage can see the group inside the compartment being eaten. In a horrible new development, they can see the shadows of the travelers frantically pulling and hitting at the door they recently locked. Over the radio, the conductor finds out that the zombie spread has been halted in Busan. However, as they draw near to a station before Busan, debris on the track forces the train to stop. Over the speaker, the guide tells the remaining survivors on the train that he will track down one more train on an unblocked track to head to Busan and that they ought to follow him. He additionally wishes them good luck since they have to get off the train and cross the zombie-filled tracks. He escapes his cockpit and finds a path, which leads him to a freight train. He fires it up and heads down the track towards Busan, searching for individuals who are still alive. Sok-woo and the others get off the train. However, Yeon-suk has survived the horde of zombies without them knowing, by concealing in the washroom. He additionally hears the guide's declaration, and he charges right out of the compartment. In the meantime, Sok-woo's group is advancing towards the freight train. Out of nowhere, a burning freight train races towards them. Jin-hee and Yong-guk are separated from the others when the out-of-control freight train collides with the wagons of a close-by train, which falls and blocks their direction. They get on the nearby wagon and pass through it to cross to the opposite side. They don't see that Yeon-suk, who is being chased by a zombie, is following them. Yeon-suk gets in the vehicle and tosses Jin-hee behind him, surrendering her to the zombies. Yong-guk fends off the zombie and tumbles to the ground afterwards, supporting Jin-hee in his arms as she shakes. Yeon-suk couldn't care less about them. He forcefully opens the entryway with his hands and runs towards the freight train. As Jin-hee begins to gag in turn, Yong-guk begins to cry and inquires as to why things must be like this. He tells Jin-hee that he's sorry he didn't inform her how he felt regarding her. Simultaneously, she pivots and eats his face and throat. Yeon-suk runs towards the freight train, however he twists his ankle on the tracks, and one of the zombies that is following him tries to bite him in the leg. The conductor leaps off the train to help, however Yeon-suk sells him out and tosses him to the zombies, exactly as he did with Jin-hee. He doesn't care about the conductor's cries for help as he gets on the train without anyone else. On the opposite side of the crash, the homeless man, Soo-eun, Sok-woo, and Seong-kyung are stuck under a train loaded with zombies. The train's windows seem as though they could break any second. Sok-woo finds an opening under the train and begins to move under it. Before the other three can follow him, a piece of the train falls and blocks the opening. The impact also breaks a window, and a couple of zombies drop out and begin slithering towards the three individuals. In any case, without a moment to spare, the homeless man sacrifices himself to the zombies. This gives Sok-woo enough opportunity to pull the obstacles away so Seong-kyung and Soo-eun can escape as well. They run towards the freight train and get on the outer deck of the conductor's wagon. Sok-woo walks towards the cockpit, however stops when he sees Yeon-suk in the conductor's seat. Yeon-suk is infected as well and is about to attack. He closes the door straight away, however Yeon-suk opens it. Far-off Suk goes up to Sok-woo and talks like a young man as he requests that he bring him back home to Busan. He says his location and the name of his mom. Sok-woo lets him know he is infected. Yeon-suk is shocked and begins to cry, however only moments later, he is totally possessed. Yeon-suk has transformed into a zombie, and Sok-woo begins to fight with him. He's nearly thrown off the edge of the vehicle. Yeon-suk sees Soo-eun shouting from the other side of the train deck, so he attempts to go after Seong-kyung and Soo-eun. Yet, Sok-woo steps in, and the zombie bites his hand severely. He gets Yeon-suk off the vehicle, but realizes that he has been bitten. He puts Soo-eun and Seong-kyung in the cockpit and lets them know how to utilize the brakes when they get to Busan station since he realizes he will turn soon. He then attempts to leave the train, however Soo-eun begs him to stay. She lets him know that upon the day of her presentation, she didn't finish with singing Salam Oe in light of the fact that she didn't see Sok-woo in the crowd. She had been saving the tune for her dad. They say their farewells with tears in their eyes, and Sok-woo holds his daughter's little hands briefly prior to putting them down and keeping himself locked out of the cockpit. Soo-eun begins to scream and shout for him to return. As the disease spreads, Sok-woo cries as he strolls towards the back of the wagon. Inside the cockpit, Soo-eun continues to sob for him while Seong-kyung attempts to stop her. He moves gradually towards the rear of the wagon as he battles the spread of the disease and begins to think when Soo-eun was a baby. The moment he contemplates on how blissful life was when he embraced her and held her little fingers and toes, his eyes become white and his veins turn dull. Sok-woo, who is now a zombie, continues to think about his daughter, and he smiles cheerfully at the sky prior to falling off the vehicle and onto the tracks for him to leap of the train as a demonstration of the ultimate sacrifice of himself to protect his daughter and Seong-kyung. The train at long last gets to the passage that prompts the Busan station. The track, nonetheless, is hindered by debris. The two escape the vehicle and begin strolling down the tunnel, not realizing that the Busan military is watching them from the opposite side. One of the expert riflemen tells his commander that they are coming, and they advise him to shoot them since they can't determine whether they are contaminated or not. Right when the expert rifleman is going to fire, Soo-eun begins to sing Salam Oe in a sad voice to empower the drained Seong-kyung to walk to the end of the tunnel. As soon as the soldiers hear her song, they understand they are not zombies and hurry to help her. So, what did you think of this movie? Tell us in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.